Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a collective or general reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity to your situation now. And we have, for the underlying energy, from the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a rebel with a cause. And so the Knight of Wands is, and the knights used to work for the king and queen in the court, and they would deliver messages from kingdom to kingdom. In those days, that's the only way they had of getting information out further away. And the Knight of Wands, his element is the element of fire, represented by his wand here. He is has a fiery energy. You can tell by the red plume on the back of his helmet here. He has salamanders and a lion on his tunic here, and this is representing protection from fire, from his element. The pyramids in the background represent the mysteries of the world and his love for adventure and finding new, conquering new lands and being able to investigate new cultures, etc. So this is someone that really loves to learn. This is a Sagittarius energy, and so this is the horse is representing emotion, and so he is very fiery, but he's learned to rein his emotion in so that he has control over the situation. And this energy, of course, he would be riding throughout the countryside delivering messages and protecting the palace. But these days, this information, there's so many ways that we can deliver information now. And so this could be a letter coming in the mail, it could be a phone call, a text message, something like that. It could be social media post, a message on there that you see. Also, it could be like an event that you go to from being on social media. And when you're at that event, you meet someone that has the perfect information for you. It's that kind of energy. Also from the news, whatever is happening in the news at a higher level does trickle down to the average person that's not running the countries, etc. It gives you an idea of what's going on. So this energy, let's see what's going on. Okay, so we have someone who feels they've been left out in the cold. This is an energy of, these people one's on crutches and he's got a bell around his neck, the plague bell, because back in those days they didn't have apps. So instead they would just hang a bell on someone's neck, and then if they were considered to have the plague, they would be forced to wear this bell, and as they came into town, people would hear them coming and could get out of their way. So of course it made it really challenging to be hired for any job or to really participate in society at any time. This card represents tactics being used against these people to cause them to be in the position that they're in. So, the snow is representing flakes. So some people are into doing this, taking others down in this way. And so, anyone can handle a flake or two, but when they all pile up together, after a while, it causes enough weight that it can collapse your house. So these people are walking past this, what apparently looks like a church, and there's only 5 pentacles there. Now the pentacles in tarot represent lifestyle, and clearly they're not living a very high lifestyle. And the energy is, with the pentacles, it's health, wealth, and happiness. And a big part of that is money. And in the tarot, there are 10 pentacles at the most. So this is only half. And this is saying that these people have been They should have way more money, but they are where they're at right now. So we'll see what this is about. Being left out in the cold can come from many different sources. We'll see. But there's justice coming in, and perhaps this is the information that the rebel with a cause is bringing some justice to this situation. Justice is representing both on the spiritual realm and the physical, which is this veil behind the figure here. This is representing, behind this is the spiritual realm, and then we also have the physical, the 5D and the 3D. We have this figure is holding the sword of justice, and she's wielding it in her right hand. You notice that her right foot is peeking out from underneath her robe here. This indicates through body language that she's about to get up and deliver this justice. Now, this can also be redemption from karma. So a lot of people do feel that karma is punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect from your actions and inactions. You can have direct karma, which is because you directly caused it, it was your actions, or you could have indirect karma, and that could be because your parents, before they left this world, they did not clean up their own karma, so now you have to do it for them. And maybe for the grandparents and the great-grandparents, depending how bad it is. And this can also be coming in from descendants and people that you associate with. And then there is also the karmic spaces. So the karmic spaces are spaces that we can all very easily fall into. They're very common for humans to fall into. And so this justice, it looks like this justice is coming in. He's holding back his horse here. And I feel it's about these two being left out in the cold here. So this here is Two of Wands, is representing someone that is standing at the turret of his castle. He's feeling like, wow, he's got the world in his hands. That's what that globe represents. And basically, he's got his left hand on this wand, and he's has one planted here. And this is someone that is considering expanding his horizons. Quite often I think about this as someone who has a business and they're maybe considering franchising their business or, expanding it in some way. So this is talking about, they've done everything they can here. It's a big fish in a little pond energy. It's like there's only so many people here, or this is where you grew up, and it's limiting you. You need to move to a bigger center. And this person might even be considering international waters because we have a distant shore there. So this is about expansion in your life. And in general, it's something you're passionate about, which could be your work, or it could be regarding a particular person that lives a distance from you. This is the never-ending nightmare. I feel it has to do with this energy here. I feel this is this energy, and this is this energy. So perhaps the rebel with a cause has delivered a message now to this energy here regarding this situation to bring justice in. That's the kind of energy I'm feeling. The Nine of Wands, or Swords, sorry, not Wands. The Nine of Swords represents someone who's in a never-ending nightmare. It's a cycle that just keeps repeating over and over again. They've woken up in the night and they're thinking, what if this happens? What if that happens? That kind of energy. Or it can also represent someone who has received enlightenment from source energy, from God. And through their dreams, they've been shown how to take consistent steps of action to be able to move forward. The swords represent your thoughts, your mental intelligence, and your discipline of your mind. Your thoughts are expressed in words, and those words are expressed either verbally or they can be expressed by the written word. And so this energy could be someone waking up in the wee hours of the morning, generally between 2 and 4 in the morning, and having an aha moment, and it comes from source regarding how to end this never-ending nightmare. Sometimes this can also just represent pure boredom, like just suffocating boredom, like the same routine day after day in the same old way. Having said that, This people will quite often refer to this as Groundhog Day, but really there is no such thing, because in school, when I was taught about how the planets revolved around the sun, and I still see pictures of it being taught this way, like online, is the sun's in the middle, and then all the planets are going in perfect circles, like, you know, and then staying in the same spot, boom, okay, and then that's another year, and then we go around again, kind of energy. But this is actually incorrect. We are always spinning and spiraling and moving throughout the universe. The whole universe is doing this. Right now, you may be sitting in a chair and watching this and be thinking, you know, that you're sitting still, but in actual fact, you're traveling very quickly, because the universe is traveling very quickly. So there really is no such thing as Groundhog Day. You could repeat the same routine over and over again, but you're never in the same place that you were before, ever. And you never ever are the same person, because you've changed. That's the one constant we can rely on in the entire world. That would be the constant of change. And we have the world. So the world is the 21st card in the major arcana. And the Fool begins the major arcana at the point, at 0 point, and begins his journey. And the world is indicating that a cycle is now over. So I do feel that this nightmare, this never-ending nightmare of being in this energy is coming to an end, and there's a whole new world coming. This is saying some sort of achievement has been happening. This could even be this person now in this new situation where, okay, justice has been brought in and they're moving forward. It could be one of these two people. Let's see. We've got, the world is changing, because now we've got ultimate fulfillment. This is like the 10 of Cups is, you know, the most cups that you can have. And it represents having love in your life. So love of your partner and love of your children, love of, you know, where you live, the home you live in, you love your career, you love the people you work with, you love your clients. You love your hobbies, you know, your pets, etc. So this is talking about an ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. And then we have the 7 of Swords. And so the 7 of Swords is sitting right here on this justice and this being left out in the cold. This energy could be saying, this is where this person was before, and then they can't figure out what happened, because it's like their world started changing and they couldn't figure out what was going on. Because all of a sudden they realized, hey, like I'm losing everything, but I've been working the same, and I've been putting the hours in and trying to expand. And, you know, this enlightenment comes in, and it's because there's a thief. And so this is the shift disturber card in my deck. This represents someone who's a walking contradiction. They are walking away with these, sneaking away with these swords. We can't quite understand why they've left 2 planted here. They are looking backwards over their shoulder and on tiptoes, like sneaking away in broad daylight. So, I mean, everyone can really see them. Having said that, if they are a thief, this generally represents someone who is a white-collar thief, someone that does their work in broad daylight, on paper kind of energy. That's the swords. So this is like using words to thieve, you know, contracts, leases, you know, like iffy investments, that kind of energy. So this is talking about, and this person is looking backwards and not even looking where they're going. And they are dangerous, because look how he puts himself in danger here. He's holding these swords like this. They're very sharp. I mean, if he slips, I mean, he could lose his hands here, but he doesn't seem to care. And, you know, he's looking backwards. Now, this energy can be also read as, like, there's something called like the 7-year itch. And this came up about a month ago with this card. And it feels like this is that kind of energy, like where someone, you know, it's a phenomena where people, they'll get married or be in a serious commitment with someone, and then around 7 to 8 years, that's when it starts falling apart. And this is a phenomenon that's really common to a lot of people. And so, you know, it's kind of like statistically that between the 7th and 8th years when most relationships fall apart. And then people want to sneak off, basically. And what's interesting is this doesn't just revolve around love, but it involves real estate and occupations, etc. So it's kind of like after 7 years of buying a house and 7 years later not wanting to keep it, or you know, beginning a career and doing really well in it, but after 7 years just suddenly I'm done with it. It's that kind of energy. So we have, and I feel that definitely that's where the justice needs to come in. On top of this, we have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands energy is representing, like the Queen, she's sitting on her throne. She is considered to be the most sexy and natural beauty out of all of the queens. She has this veil behind her representing the thin veil between the spiritual world and the physical world. The sunflower in her hand represents she has a sunny disposition. She's known to be very able to come up with creative solutions to any problem. She's not someone that worries. The reason she can come up with creative solutions is she uses her logic and her intuition combined to solve problems. And she has a wand in her hand, just like the knight here. And this represents the energy of her, like the tree, and because it's made of wood. And this is talking about the ancestors who have very deep roots, and the descendants who are the branches, you know, that come off of the tree, basically, and bear fruit. She has this little black cat here, which represents that she's very independent and does whatever she wants to do, basically. So other people might be suspicious and not have a black cat, but she doesn't care about suspicion. She just, she likes the black cat, so she has a black cat. And if you don't like it, too bad. That's her energy. We have the King of Swords here. So now this could be talking about a couple here, because the King of Swords could be the sword part of this energy, and we have this energy could be the Queen wanting to move off, off this turret, and once she gets justice. Now this could say that these two were living the ultimate lifestyle, and then something happened, that kind of energy, and then this thievery came in. So the King of Swords is someone who is at the top of their profession. They would be, a master of using words and their intellect. So this could be someone that is, they understand that words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used to uplift. They also understand that actions speak louder than words, and that perhaps there's some sort of energy here between the two of them. It's interesting because they're sitting on this ultimate fulfillment, but it begins with this energy of being left out in the cold. Now this could represent one of them or both of them. And yeah, we're just going to keep going because it's hard to say exactly what's going on. But this could represent a divorce lawyer. Sometimes that can be the energy of the King of Swords. Whatever the King of Swords could represent, a leader of a country, like in politics, and someone who gives a lot of speeches and legislation, drawing up paperwork, etc. If they are someone who is into politics, they would be the prime minister or the president or the king. They could be an actual king. That kind of energy, or ministers or members of the Senate, or that kind of energy. They also could be lawyers, like in the legal system. This could represent judges and head prosecutors. It could be like chief of police kind of energy, people that are at the top of whatever their profession is. And sometimes this could represent an influencer, It could represent someone who is an author, that, you know, a best-selling author. And it could also be like a surgeon, actually. So, you know, whoever they are, they're at the top of their field here. And then there's a lot of competition. So the competition, this is talking about immature competition. This is the only card in the deck of the tarot where there's adolescents arguing, you know, with each other like this on a card. And so the Five of Wands is representing immature competition. It's my Mean Girls card. What I mean by that is, you know, when we become more mature, we start to realize that even though we might be in a competition with other people, like there might be a business that's competing with us, or maybe someone else, you know, in politics that we're competing with for a position, that kind of energy, it really isn't about the other person so much as it is about how is our individual performance, regardless of whether we're competing individually or on a team. This energy is basically, you know, it's like, think of narcissistic cheerleaders, and they watch and they can see the other team has won, they're better. And instead of accepting that and learning and watching them so that they can learn, like, what is it that they're doing, you know, like, how can I improve by watching them, they want to win, even though whether they should or not. And they'll do anything to win. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will make sure that they do. It's that kind of energy. And so this is talking about, instead of being in that energy, being in an energy where you watch the competition, and if they're better than you, you watch them and see how are they doing what they're doing, and you do research into that, and you become better at that. So every time that you do have a performance, whether that be on a team or as an individual, that your performance is at least 1% better than it was the last time. And if every time you go out there to perform, you're 1% better than the last time, eventually that adds up. And you're really going to, you know, be in a much higher position, and a better team player. So this energy is talking about learning from the competition instead of fighting with the competition. If we look at this, it's still not 100% clear to me what happened here, but it does feel like it's kind of this energy. I don't know if the King of, I feel like these two were in a couple, or were supposed to be a couple, but there was a lot of competition that was trying to divide them. This was the promise that they would have this ultimate happiness, but then it was stolen. And the cycle, it could be saying whatever happened, the cycle is now ended, and now they're back into this energy. I feel like if they're together now, when they were in this energy below, they weren't together. It's kind of saying they may not even know each other, because it's saying that, you know, they've met because they both have this in common, that they've been left out in the cold. So they could be in that energy without actually having met. Oh my goodness. Stella, get down. Off. Hey, get off the table. Get off. Oh my goodness, my cat. Hey you. Hey you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Get off the table now. Go on. She's just looking at me like, you're in the middle of doing a reading. You can't make me. Make me. And that's the kind of energy. Stella, now. Thank you. Sorry about that. Normally she just sits on my lap and purrs, but she's being not in the mood for being like that. And it's kind of like that energy of really not giving a shit. Make me. She's about to climb on my cutting board. Yeah, I don't really want you on my cutting board. Thank you. All right. So this is talking about the past going up. So being left out in the cold and not necessarily knowing each other. These people might have just met 10 minutes ago, and they're just walking, you know, keeping each other company as they walk along. This poor guy's barefoot in the snow. And this is talking about there was something stolen, and I feel it's white collar crime. that kind of energy. We have the Queen of Wands, who's naturally, very good at solving problems. There's the competition. I feel like the competition has been successful in isolating her energy at this time. And I feel that the King of Swords is in the same position, but from other energy. And these two may not have met as of yet, but they're meant to meet, to come together, and then they'll be able to take the competition on. So this is talking about, this energy is definitely changing. It's a cycle ending to get out of this energy. And then if we look at it from here, when justice comes in, I feel like these two might somehow get together. And that's what this energy is trying to prevent. Here, he may have even been hired to do this. Let's look into this a little bit more. This is a very different kind of energy here. We don't quite know what's going on, but it has something to do with that. If you are like saying, you know what, this energy, I know what this is about, I don't need further clarity, and you're off, please, thank you for showing up, and please do give it a like and a comment if you may understand this. This is a random reading. And my random readings, a lot of times I'm just like, okay. And I'll be like, what is this about? And is it even something I should post? Like it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And inevitably someone will contact me after and say, this is exactly what I needed to know. So that's why I'm doing these random readings. They're random readings about shift that it's more for you, the collective, to have some information regarding weird situations. If you want a more clear reading, you can, I do a daily one every day, and I do my astrological ones also. So I'm going to clarify this with my Oracle Tales from the Vector, TAILS. And I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. This is an oracle I started back in 2007. In 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. I'm an artist, and they were really big paintings from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. There's big dragons flying through the sky and from different locations on the planet and in the universe, basically. And I had a lot of fun doing it, but I'm just now in a position where I have time to bring it, complete it. I have a lot of information written down, but I want to see what it's like in action here, because you may have noticed sometimes what works on paper doesn't work in real life. All right, so in the description box below, I will put the numbers that are on these cards. The numbers represent the paintings, how they're listed in my gallery on my website. The information will be below. I will have them in the order that they show up here. So if you want, you can check it out. So we have the High Priestess coming in here for the Rebel with a Cause, like the information coming in. So if you're thinking, if your intuition is saying to you, hey, this is what's happening and this is what you need to do about it, listen to your intuition, because it's giving you some solid information that you can actually put into action. And we have the energy of Cancer energy. This is the horoscope sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. And the moon is when we tend to be at our most intuitive. The High Priestess understands these cycles. She sits next to God on the right hand of his throne. On her throne, she is in between two extremes, Jesus and the devil, and she is navigating those two energies in the energy. And she has a crescent moon at her feet, which represents that she uses the cycles of the moon to be able to use her intuition, like this Queen of Wands. And then you can apply that information, intuitive information, in a logical way to make some shift happen in the physical world. When the horoscope signs come up in my readings, I'm not saying that it's a particular individual is that sign, although that may be true for you. Use your intuition. But this is talking about what is this sign about and the stage of life. The state of being, what can we learn from this sign? Because we all have a little bit of every sign in us. So the adolescent, this is about the adolescent energy. You think of a young girl, this is someone who is very volatile, up and down in her emotions, because the hormones are changing at a significant rate here. And so it's about either being engaged with what's happening or being entrenched by it, like being so overwhelmed by the emotion of it that you can't, see your way through it. And then we have the Gemini energy, which is right before Cancer. And this is talking about being at kindergarten age, basically, on some sort of a learning curve of doing something new. And so that is this energy coming in here. When this justice comes in for whatever happened here, I feel there was a theft here. This is the walking contradiction, shift disturbing, daylight thief energy is sitting right on top of this energy here. So the reason why you've been left out in the cold, if that's the way you feel, and the tactics that were used to get you there, there's justice being brought to the situation. It's coming in now with the rebel with a cause. And Mercury represents, Mercury rules the Gemini energy. And Mercury, that planet, is talking about communication coming in. This is again saying the creative solutions versus logic. Exactly how I feel this is the Queen of Wands energy for sure, has been left out in the cold. And this rebel with a cause is passionate about bringing this information in to end this never-ending nightmare that she's in. This is representing a karmic space of indifference. She may have been around people that felt that she thought, oh, these people are, on the same page as me, and kind of lowered her boundaries, so that just feeling like, yeah, we're all in it together, like we're working together, and then finding out after that actually that they actually wanted what was hers, the energy that she was supposed to come into, this ultimate fulfillment. And so they were actually totally indifferent to her suffering. And when judgment comes in, this is judgment from the Most High, from God himself coming in and saying, I don't think so. This belongs to this energy, I feel. And this may be a lawyer energy that she has hired and gone to deal with this competition. And they may have even been in a position now where they have been getting away with it for some time. And the judgment is coming down, though. The judgment is coming from God, and it's coming down into the traditional structure. So this represents some sort of communication coming in and ending this cycle of this energy. I feel it is being left out in the cold. And it could even be that these two get together and do business together, or there's not a whole lot of cups out here except for here. And so this could represent, because it's sitting right on here, that maybe they meet and it changes the whole situation. And it just so happens that this happens to be someone who is in, like a brilliant lawyer or whatever, and says, well, I can see exactly what happened here. And the judgment comes in from God on the spiritual realm, and then that is brought in to the physical. I feel by this lawyer type person, or it could be a political figure, something like that, someone who has some clout. And then this is talking about the Hermit. So I feel that it's sitting here on the Queen of Wands. I feel that she went inward, and sometimes the best thing you can do, this can even represent some injustice happening and being left out in the cold, and her realizing it was too much for her to handle herself. So she climbs the mountain to be able to isolate herself. So this could be self-isolation as well. And this could be talking about she climbs the mountain and goes to God, because that's the two cards here, and asks like what meditates and prays and asks what is it that I need to do. And the Hermit, when in my oracle, normally the Hermit is like at the top of the mountain, and this is an energy of when the lantern is full of your North Star energy, which represents your destined path. that then they come down and take action with the energy. In my oracle, it's actually a painting of a hawk-like dragon, a baby dragon, and all of my baby dragons are accompanied by energy of an angel, and the angel is actually a First Nations angel. The painting, the location is from Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, and there is a totem pole, and Peish is the name of the dragon, and he is like known to be like totally fearless, going into the darkest of nights, into the darkest of energy, and finding the solutions and then bringing them out. And this energy, he's sitting at the top of a totem pole, but the totem pole is not a First Nations totem pole. It's from another existence. It actually has the 3 monkeys on it. The one at the top is Speak No Ego, and See No Ego, and Hear No Ego. And the light, instead of it being the North Star in the lantern, the light is the Aurora Borealis, which is often referred to as the Northern Lights. Beautiful sight to see, and it's quite common around in the prairies. You can really see it in the winter in Canada. It's beautiful. The sky goes all different colors. It's incredible. So this is talking about being a superstar energy coming back. And this energy is talking about having harmony back in your life and being able to, this is representing the throat energy, being able to speak again. And so maybe the queen here was not able to speak her truth until this other this king came in, and maybe they do get married and have ultimate fulfillment with each other and they have harmony together. And this is talking about having harmony in the both being able to speak their truth, bringing the truth out, bringing God's truth out. That's pretty cool. So this is talking about harmony, and harmony is a beautiful dragon that is playing the drums. And she says, sing to your heart's content. So it's good to see harmony is restored. So if you're in this position where you feel like this is never going to end, the best thing you could do right now is probably isolate yourself for a little while and really go inward and, pray and meditate and get close to the source energy. And look, ask God, okay, this is too much for me. What do I need to do? And then implement that energy when your intuition tells you what to do. All right, and then you'll be like this energy here, unstoppable. So if you've enjoyed this, please do give it a like and a comment. It really does help me build my channel. I really appreciate it. Also subscribe if you resonate. I would be honored if you did so, and I will be back with another reading about random shift at some time soon. Bye for now.